The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Full Play, a big league baseball simulation board game, your own baseball legacy on your game table. This game is a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2013, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, man, do we have a good Wild Wild West treat for you on hand, as we are going to relive the shall I say, epic clash between the Toronto Blue Jays and the California Angels that was played on April 15th, 1994. Your probable starters are Dave Stewart for the Blue Jays and Brian Anderson for the Angels, as these two teams go at it on the latest edition of MLB Memorable Games. Who will come on top of this one? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out for yourself, because first pitch is just moments away. But before we get to that, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of MLB Memorable Games as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take this time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. First and foremost, thank you to Biddy Beer for sponsoring every mid-game and end-of-game summary throughout every episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And again, we remind you, if you choose to drink Biddy Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a Biddy price. It's Biddy Beer. They say it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Biddy Beer its distinctive taste, but we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our bats have never been cleaned, so there's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. And every game that we go to extra innings, it is a Doc Cola extra innings ball game. Doc Cola uses the finest imitation ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. With twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major brand, Doc Cola is sure to keep you wired from dawn till dusk. So take the Doc Cola challenge and see why our customers agree. You'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom. At Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza starts with the crust. Then we layer on a homemade pizza sauce, and then load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, it's piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. And then we give that majestic culinary work of art to Mickey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who's as responsible as a tree stump. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection when it left the store. And by Suncoast Capital. At Suncoast, we live by one simple rule of investing. When your clients win, we win. And when our clients lose, we win, sort of. Suncoast Capital. You know we're gonna get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you can get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at least 25% coast to coast between the hours 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging between those hours, of course. So why pay for a service you cannot live without? And we're just about set and ready to go for this episode of MLB Memorable Games, as we are going to be reliving the April 15th, 1994 classic Wild Wild West game between the Toronto Blue Jays and the California Angels. Your starting probable pitchers for this game were Brian Anderson for the Angels, as he has Workman, Control, and he will be opposed by Dave Stewart in the bottom half of the first. This game is being played with full play History Maker Baseball. And without further delay, Devon White is all set and ready to go. So is BA. Let's get right to it for this installment of MLB Memorable Games. We'll begin this episode with a 4-5-5. Flash on Anderson, no. Home run king on White. No, that's going to be a ground out to first. So the first out has been recorded on Devon White with a ground out to first. So the ever classic 3U put out in the scorebook. With one down, here is Roberto Alomar, the designated hitter. Yes, no, excuse me, the second baseman. Sorry, the second baseman for this game. With that being said, we roll on the main chart with a 2-5-6. Struggler on Anderson, no. Champ or Patient on Alomar, no. We have some infield drama ensuing, folks. And it's going to end up being a 25. Infield 25. Second baseman Iron. The second baseman from this game was Harold Reynolds. And according to his card, he is not. We're looking for 25. Is he iron? He is a semi-iron. The decider die says yes, he is. Therefore, it will be 25. Unable to make the play. Ball rolls through into center field for a single. So credit a hit for Roberto Alomar. And we go to the purple chart. Yes, to the team chemistry chart. In this case, both teams are being played on a neutral playing field. No team throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour is taking full advantage of who's hot and who's cold, or who's dissonant, or who's harmonious. So therefore, we roll on the team chemistry chart with a 25. Oh, excuse me. Pitching team dissonant. Well, again, no. Both teams are treated neutral, so therefore, it'll be a fly out to right. 2 down in the inning for Joe Carter. Oh, back on the main chart we go. Yep, back on the main chart we go for the 3-4-6. Eager on Carter. He's a semi-eager, and the decider die says he is not. Therefore, it's going to be a walk. So first and second for John Olerud. The Blue Jays are making some noise as we head back to the team chemistry chart for John Olerud with a 46. Pitching team dissonant. Again, no team throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. As mentioned before, will be taking full advantage of who's hot and who's cold, or who's harmonious or who's dissonant or not. So therefore, we got ourselves some infield drama ensuing, folks. Infield 24, second baseman, Gold. Harold Reynolds is the second baseman from this game. He's not Gold, so therefore, bobble ball, batter is safe at first via the error to load up the bases. So credit an error to Harold Reynolds, as the Blue Jays are making some noise here, folks, as we head 24. Yep, back on the main chart with a 3-3-6. 3-3-6. Aerodynamic on Anderson. He is a semi-dynamic pitcher. The decider die says he is. That's going to be a fly out to center, and we will kick things off on the player experience charts for the at-bat of Chad Curtis. as the Blue Jays threaten but do not score in their half of the first. They made noise, but unfortunately, Brian Anderson came away unscathed to escape the bases loaded jam. We head to the bottom half of the inning. It's Jays nothing, and the Angels are coming to bat. 5. Oh, we're on the player experience chart. My fault there. 34. 34. Prospect batter. Jack Curtis is a semi-prospect batter, and the decider die says he is. So therefore, Chopper ground out to the pitcher, and Dave Stewart gets the first out of the inning right then and there. That's going to bring up Dwight Smith off of the main chart with a 145. 145. 145. Here we are. Struggler on Stewart. He is a struggler pitcher. Therefore, nobody on base. So it's really impossible to throw a wild pitch. So therefore, we're going to use the fielder result and say it will be a ground out to either first or third base. And I usually go by the batter's handiness. So therefore, Dwight Smith will ground out to, since he's a left-handed hitter, he'll ground out to first with 2 down in the inning for Tim Salmon. 1-2-2. Workman on Stewart. He's not. Champer Whipper on Salmon. He's a semi-whipper. The decider die says he's not. So therefore, that's going to be a line out to third, and both teams escape with scoreless innings intact. So therefore, after 1 inning of play, we have no score. Two, 3-6. 2-3-6. Here we are. Double controller dynamic on Anderson. He's a semi-dynamic pitcher. The decider die says he's not. Is the pitcher batting? Unfortunately, he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a base on balls for Ed Sprague. And that is going to bring up Pat Borders off of the main charts. Yes, off the main chart with a 1-4-6. Flash on Anderson, no. Champ on Borders, no. That is going to be a ground out to second base. And folks, that is going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Man, oh man, the Angels really needed that. Excuse me. The Angels really needed that to keep this game at a zip-to-zip tie. As with 2 down in the inning, we go to Alex Gonzalez's at bat off the main chart with a 1-1-3. Acer dynamic on Anderson. He's a semi-dynamic pitcher, and the decider die says yes, he is. That's going to be a ground out to first base. As the first baseman dives for that ball, almost getting past him, but he made sure he held on. He throws it to first, and Brian Anderson says, "Thank you very much." We go to the bottom half of the second with no score between the Blue Jays and the Angels. 3-5-6. Same, and it seems, and again, when we say same, it's righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. Since we have a switch hitter up at the dish against a right-handed pitcher, normally that would be a left-handed batter facing a right-handed pitcher. So therefore, they're not the same. Utility or sat sack on Davis? No, that is going to end up being a single down the first or third base line. And we'll say down the first base line, it goes for Damon Easley to bat off of the main chart with a 2.44. Ace on Stewart, no. Champ on Easley, no. That's going to be a ground out to short unless he's a whiffer. He is not. So therefore, it's going to be a ground out to short. Even though they say fielder's choice on groundouts, this looks like a double play possibility here. And I think that's what they're probably going to get. So they will take the 6-4-3 double play to erase Davis from the base paths. And nobody on for Eduardo Perez to bat off the main charts with a 4.45. Excuse me. Workman on Stewart. He's not. Patient on Perez. No. That'll be a ground out to first, and that is going to do it for the first two innings here at the then Edison Field, now current Angel Stadium, with your score at a big fat goose egg between the Blue Jays and the Angels. Devon White will lead things off for the Toronto Blue Jays as we go back on the main chart with a 3.66. Pinch hitter? No. Devon White's not the pinch hitter, so therefore it will be a fly out to center for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring out Roberto Alomar. So far, it's been a tight pitching duel so far between these two ball clubs, as it will be Roberto Alomar's turn up at the dish off the main chart with a 1-2-3. 1-2-3, both flash and fresh. No, but he is still fresh though. But he doesn't have flash, so therefore it'll be a ground out to short unless it's a high error season, and I don't think '94 was a high error season. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out to short. Easy peasy pickings for the shortstop in this ball game as he makes the nice play over to first for the out, and there are two down in the inning for Paul Molitor. Excuse me, 2.36. 2.36. Double controller dynamic. It seems we have a semi-dynamic pitcher in Brian Anderson. However, the decider die says no. Is the pitcher batting? No, we're playing an American League ballpark we're playing an American League style game, American League Stadium. With that being said, it will be a base on balls as Paul Molitor gets on first base with a walk for Joe Carter. He'll bat off the main chart with a 1.34. Gold catcher, the catcher in this game for the Angels was Greg Myers. He is gold. Unbelievable. So therefore, that's going to be a strikeout unless Joe Carter has a good eye. In this case, he doesn't. So therefore, strike three called, says the home plate umpire, as the Jays walk strand a man. This game remains scoreless at a zip-to-zip tie between the Blue Jays and the Angels. Bottom of the third as we kick things off here with Greg Myers up at the dish. 1-2-3. Both flash and fresh. Yes, sir, and yes. Strike three called, says the home plate umpire. As that will bring up Harold Reynolds up at the dish with a 4.55. 4.55. Flash. Yes, sir. Dave Stewart has flash. Therefore, it will be a strikeout unless Harold Reynolds has a good eye. In this case, he doesn't. Therefore, it will be the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Gary DiSarcina off of the main chart. Excuse me. With that being said, it's a 2.25. Star on Stewart. No. Slugger or sad sack on DiCercina, no. That's going to be a single to center, active steals. Gary DiCercina is not an active runner, so therefore he'll place the runner at first base. For Chad Curtis, it's going to be the Angels' chance to break things open here. We resume on the main chart with a 1-2-4 control. Dave Stewart does not have control. Eager on Curtis. He's a semi-eager. The decider die says he's not. That's going to be a walk. Oh boy, folks. Station to a station for Dwight Smith as the Angels are looking to make some noise here. 2-3-3. Ace or star on Stewart? No. Slugger? Dwight Smith is not a slugger, so therefore that's going to be a fly out to left unless he is, oh, excuse me, fly out to center. So therefore, the Angels threaten but do not score here in their half of the third. We go to the bottom half of the end. We go to the fourth inning here at Edison Field, or excuse me, at the then Edison Field, aka Angel Stadium, with your score all knotted up at a big fat goose egg between the Blue Jays and the Angels. And we're on our way to the top half of the fourth as we have a score of Blue Jays nothing, Angels nothing, as John Olerud will lead things off for the Blue Jays here in the top half of the fourth. And we will bat off the men on base, or excuse me, off the main chart with a 2-3-5. Wild on Anderson, no. Eager on Olerud, no. That's going to be a ground out to second base unless Olerud is patient. He's a semi-patient batter. Yes, he's a semi-patient batter. The decider die says yes, he is. Therefore, he will trot his way down to first base with a walk for Carlos Delgado off of the main chart with a 1-2-5. Struggler on Anderson. He's not. Patient on Delgado. He's a semi-patient. The decider die says yes, he is. That's going to be a base on balls unless we have a questionable or strict umpire. And it seems the decider die was used to check if Delgado was patient or not. Do we have a questionable umpire? We don't. What about a lenient? We do. Strike three called instead. So that's going to be the first out of the inning for Ed Sprague. He'll take his hacks off the main chart with a 3-4-5. Iron catcher. The catcher in this game is Greg Myers. He's not iron. Good eye on Sprague. He does not have a good eye. That's going to be strike three called. And we go to the baseball right now chart for Pat Borders. Excuse me. 11, cold pitcher, and again, no team throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour will be taking full advantage of who's hot and who's cold, or who's dissonant, or who's harmonious or not. So therefore, it'll be a fly out to shallow right field, and that's going to do it for the first 3.5 innings here at the Big A with your score all dead even at a big fat goose egg between the Angels and the Blue Jays. 144 off the main charts. 144. Here we are. Flash on Stewart. He has flash, but that's going to be a strikeout. But do we have a questionable or lenient umpire? And it seems we do. So therefore, that's going to be called ball 4. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, folks. I don't know what's going to happen here with Chili Davis up at the dish. To bat off the off the main chart with a 1-6-6. Workmen are gilded on Stewart. He's neither. Whiffer on Davis. He's a semi-whiffer, and the Saturday says yes, he is. Strike three called, says the home plate umpire. That's the first out of the inning for Damian Easley to bat off the main chart. with a 2-4-5, 2-4-5. Hero uneasily. No. That's going to be a pop out to second. And we go to the player experience chart for Eduardo Perez with 2 down in the inning. And we get a roll of 13. Prospect pitcher, get out of here. Dave Stewart's not a prospect pitcher. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out to third base. We go to the 5th inning here at the Big A, all knotted up at a big fat goose egg between the Blue Jays and the Angels. 1-1-4. We're back on the main chart with a 1-1-4. Fresh on Anderson. Remember, we're in the semi-freshest innings now. And again, I play it with the decider die as dot he's fresh, blank he's not. So therefore, he is still fresh according to the decider die. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out to short, giving Alex Gonzalez the first out of the inning, as that is going to bring out Devon White off the main chart with a 1-1-3 Acer dynamic on Acer dynamic on Anderson. He is a semi-dynamic hitter, or excuse me, semi-dynamic pitcher. The decider die says yes, he is. Therefore, ground out to first base. The first baseman says, I got it. Thank you very much. That'll be the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Roberto Alomar off the main chart with a 1-3-5. Oh, it's going to be an unusual result, and it seems red 1, black 5. Red 1, black 5. It's going to be, oh, it's a Balker bogey. Oh, no. Balker bogey is going to be ensuing, folks. Let's see what we got here. 14. Foul tip, gold catcher hangs on for strike 3. Others let it drop. Greg Myers is a gold catcher. Foul tipped it, hangs on for the strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove. Unbelievable, folks. That's going to do it for the first 4.5 innings here at the Big A with your score all knotted up at a big fat goose egg. Back on the main chart we go with a 4-6-6. Control. Dave Stewart's does not have control. Home run king or slugger. Greg Myers is neither. That's going to be a difficult choice. Difficult ground out to choice infielder. We'll say that's difficult choice. A ground out to the third baseman, and he makes the play like a piece of cake. Unbelievable. We go back on the main chart with a 2-6-6. Runner on first? No, there's no runner on first. Is Reynolds the leadoff batter? No, he's not. It'll be a fly out to right. First out, or excuse me, the second out has been recorded for Gary DiSarcina to bat off the main chart with a 2-3-6. Double controller dynamic. Dave Stewart is a semi-dynamic pitcher, and the decider die says yes, he is. That is going to be a ground out. We'll say ground out to short, and that is going to be the end of the first half of this ball game as we take a look at our mid-game summary presented, as always, by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, we remind you, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. With that being said, at the halfway mark in this ball, after 5 innings of play, the Blue Jays and the Angels are scoreless through 5 innings of play. And with that being said, we welcome you back to this episode of MLB Memorable Games as the Blue Jays and the Angels are all deadlocked at a zip-to-zip tie. Who is going to blink first as this game is being played with full play History Maker Baseball. Paul Molitor will lead things off for the Blue Jays in this top half of the sixth. Can the Blue Jays rally to get something on the board as both pens are getting loose and active here in this episode of MLB Memorable Games? Let's see what we got here to kick things off for the second half of this ball game. 4-6-6. Control on Anderson. Yes, sir. That is going to be a pitch right, single in the left. So therefore, that's going to be a base hit for Paul Molitor. And that's going to bring up Joe Carter off of the main chart with a 1-4-6. 1-4-6. Flash on Anderson. No. Hero on Carter. No. That's going to be a ground out to short unless he is a whiffer. He's not. That is going to be a 6-4-3 double play, folks. Eliminating Paul Molitor from the base paths. And folks, unbelievable. Excuse me, unbelievable. We continue on the main chart for John Olerud. One of these two teams has to break the scoreless tie. Who's it going to be? 2-4-5. 2-4-5. Hero on Olerud. Yes, he is. That's going to be a single into left field. And that is going to bring up Carlos Delgado off the main chart with a 2-3-4. Runners on base. You bet there are runners on base. So therefore, we have some plate drama ensuing with a 22. Catcher Gold. Greg Myers is the catcher for the Angels. He is Gold. Pitch in the dirt, but holds on for a ball. So we go to the runner on first for the umpire check. X, and again, I play my games with rotisserie umpires. If they have the quality, they have it. They don't, they don't. With every umpire having all the qualities, but they are all semi. With that being said, it's a 15. Respected umpire at home. It seems we don't. Other umpires call ball 2. Batter is still at bat. We go back to the main chart now, folks. With a 2-0 count on Delgado. 1-4-6. Flash on Anderson. No. Champ on Delgado. He's not. Therefore, it'll be a ground out to second base, and that is going to do it for they'll get the sure out at second, as it will be a fielder's choice for 6. It'll be a fielder's, actually, they'll get the sure out at first. I'm sorry about that. They will get the sure out at first with a 4-3 put out. We go to the bottom half of the 6th with your score all deadlocked at a zip-to-zip tie between the Blue Jays and the Angels. 3-6-6. Pinch hitter on Curtis to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 6th. No. That's going to be a fly out to center. 1 down in the inning for Dwight Smith. Two, 3-5. 2-3-5. Wild on Dave Stewart. No. Eager on Smith. He is a semi-eager, and the decider die says he's not. That's going to be a ground out to second base unless he is patient. Dwight Smith is not patient. So therefore, it'll be a ground out to second base. An easy pickings 4-3 put out. And that is going to bring up Tim Salmon off the main chart with a 1-3-5. Oh, it's going to be an unusual result, and it's going to be a ballpark check. So give me 1 second here to get out the charts for the ballpark qualities. Here we go. Angel Stadium is a grass surface with neutral for righties and semi-big for left-handers. With that being said, we go to the ballpark charts in the History Maker Baseball game book. And we get a 36. Big ballpark with a right-handed hitter up at the dish. It's not big. It's a neutral park. So therefore, running grab of a fly ball for an out, and we'll say that play is on the right fielder. We go to the 7th, all knotted up at zip between the Toronto Blue Jays and the California Angels. Nobody wants to make the huge mistake, so the Angels are going to keep Brian Anderson in this one as he remains semi-fresh. Excuse me, as he remains semi-fresh on his day here as he faces off against Ed Sprague. And he will get a 145 struggler on Anderson. No, it's going to be ground out to either first or third base. It'll be to third base for the first out of the inning. And we go to Pat Borders now off the main chart with a 156 whiffer on Borders. No, we got some outfield drama ensuing. Outfield drama 55. Right fielder iron. The right fielder in this game for the Angels was it was Tim Salmon. He is not excuse me, he's a semi-iron. The decider die says yes he is. So therefore, batter rips a drive into right field for a base hit. That is going to be putting the runner on at first base for Alex Gonzalez. And no doubt about it, he's looking to bunt here. Yep, he'll be looking to bunt here. So let's take a look here and see what we got. 3. Good sack bunt by Alex Gonzalez as he moves the runner into scoring position. In this case, Pat Borders, so we'll make it a 2-3 sacrifice putout. And we continue back on the main chart with and sorry about that, folks. We continue back on the main chart with a with the at bat for Devon White with a 145. Struggler, that's going to be a ground out to either first or third base. That is going to be a 5 across the diamond 3 double play. We head to the stretch here at Angel State at the then Edison Field, aka Angel Stadium, with your score all deadlocked at a big fat goose egg between the Blue Jays and the Angels. And we do see Dave Stewart trotting his way out to the mound as the manager is keeping tabs on his starter, but just in case, the bullpen is active for both squads as both these pitchers are on their last legs. Here on their last legs, here in this one, with your score all dead even at a big fat goose egg. .366 pinch hitter on Davis. No. That's going to be a fly out to center. And that's the first out of the inning for Damian Easley. He'll bat off the main chart with a 114. Fresh, and again, Dave Stewart retains his semi-freshest quality, but however, he's not fresh. Sad sack or patient on Easley? No. That's going to be a single and a right. That is going to bring up Eduardo Perez off the team chemistry chart with a 34. Excuse me, batting team harmonious. And again, no team throughout the inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour is going to be taking full advantage of who's hot and who's cold, or who's harmonious or dishonored or not. So therefore, that is going to end up being a ground out to third base. With that, that is going to be a 5-4-3 double play. Both teams escape Scoreless innings through 7 innings of this ball game. Who is going to blink first in this Wild Wild West shootout amongst the starting pitchers? But it seems we do see a new pitcher trotting in for the bullpen for the Angels. We'll see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems that Bob Patterson will be out on the mound for the California Angels as he has semi-flash, semi-control credited to his name. But for this at-bat against Roberto Alomar, he will be getting the full extent use of the semi-ace quality. With that being said, we're all deadlocked at 0-0 between these two ball clubs as we resume play off of the main charts for Roberto Alomar. 256. Struggler on Patterson. Excuse me, no. Champ or patient on Alomar. No. That'll be some infield drama ensuing, folks. Infield drama 11. Pitcher iron. Well, again, the pitcher's not iron, so therefore he will make a stab at the mound for an easy ground out. So that's the first out of the inning for the Blue Jays in their half of the eighth, and now it's on Paul Molitor. Back on the main chart we go with a 1-4-5. Struggler on Patterson. He's not. That's gonna be a ground out to either first or third base, and he will go to third base to record the second out in the inning for Joe Carter. 4-4-5. 4-4-5. Workman on Patterson. No. Patient on Carter. He's not. Ground out to first base. Oh boy, folks. We are going to the bottom of the eighth. The Angels need a lot of runs here to hopefully set up their closer in the top half of the ninth for a save situation. We go to the bottom of the eighth with your score all dead even at 0-0. 2-4-5. Hero on Myers. No. That's going to be a pop out to second. First out of the inning. And that is going to bring up Harold Reynolds off of the player experience charts with a 46. Icon pitcher, Dave Stewart, is still in there. He is an icon pitcher, so therefore he will sneak strike three to Harold Reynolds. And we continue on with 2 outs in the inning, as it will be a strikeout of Harold Reynolds. We go to the main charts for Gary DiCercina with a 5.66. Wild? No, Stewart's not wild. Good eye? Good eye on DiCercina? No. That's going to be a strikeout. Go to the baseball right now charts to kick off the top of the ninth for John Olerud with your score all dead even at a zip-to-zip tie between the Angels and the Blue Jays. Excuse me. This is baseball right now chart. Excuse me. It's a 44. Batter steps out of the box, then takes ball 4 for a base on balls. Ooh. Oh boy, folks, that is going to bring up Carlos Delgado. The closer for the Jays is warming up in the bullpen as we speak, and the Blue Jays do take advantage here. So with that being said, we roll on the main chart with a 3-3-5. Wild on Patterson. He's not. Sad sack on Delgado. He is not. Therefore, it's going to be a single to right single to right stolen base, but Stoic holds. Carlos Delgado is a semi-stoic runner. The Desaturday says yes, he is. That is going to be a single. Runners at the corners now for Ed Sprague with nobody out. You think think Ed Sprague is probably going to hit. So he's not going to take the chance, but he's going to hit. 466, control. Patterson is semi-control, and he does not. Home run king or slugger. He's a semi-slugger. The decider die says he is. Strike three called, says the home plate umpire. Oh boy, that's the first out of the inning. We continue to roll on the main chart with a 155. Home run king on borders. He's not a home run king. Therefore, it's going to be a fly out to center. Two gone in the inning. Oh man, that's going to bring up Alex Gonzalez off of the main chart. 235. Wild on Patterson. He's not. Eager on Gonzalez. He's a semi-eager batter. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out short unless he is a patient hitter. He's not patient, so therefore, that is going to be a ground out to second. Oh man, folks, the Blue Jays are going to go to their pen. They are going to bring in a new pitcher, as we did see the manager for the Blue Jays shake the hand of his starter, Dave Stewart. One of these two teams are going to have the unfortunate way of losing this game, possibly of a score of a possibly 1-0 final. But we'll have to wait and see. We go to the pen for the Blue Jays, and we see a new pitcher trotting in for the pen. We'll see who it is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems Mike Timlin will be out on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays, looking to seal this game and to take it to the 10th inning. But with a workman flash pitcher against Jack Curtis, Mike Timlin will have the full extent use of the semi-control quality. With that being said, we're all netted up at 0-0. Last call for the Angels to possibly extend, to hopefully end this ball game right here and right now with your score all dead even at a zip-to-zip tie between the Blue Jays and the Angels. 3-4-4. Prospect on Timlin. He's not. Patient on Curtis. No. That is going to be a pop out to second. One down in the inning. We're on our way to face off against Jim Edmonds, who came into the game when the new pitcher, or excuse me, who came into the game and here in this earlier on in this second half, as he is the left fielder, as Jim Edmonds was the new left fielder. We now have a 1-1-5 fresh on Timlin. Remember, I play relievers as one full fresh, one semi-fresh. So therefore, he is fresh. Off-fly choice to a infielder. To choice of infielder. So therefore, we'll say, pop out to the second baseman. Easy peasy. P4 in the scorebook. And we continue to roll for Tim Salmon. 1-4-6. Flash. You better believe it. Timlin has flash. Therefore, it's going to be a strikeout unless Salmon has a good eye. So therefore, he does not have it. So therefore, that's going to be strike three called. We go to the 10th inning. Who's going to blink first here in this episode of MLB Memorable Games between the Blue Jays and the Angels? 2-3-4. No runners on base. No one's taking full advantage of who's hot or who's dishonored. So therefore, it'll be a pop out to third. That's the first out of the 10th inning for Roberto Alomar. 2-3-6. 2-3-6. Double controller dynamic. Patterson is semi-dynamic, and the decider die says yes, he does. So therefore, that will be a ground out to pitcher and to pitcher plus double control dynamic. Oh, I'm sorry. Only when it's double. Oh, I get it. Okay, so no pitcher batting. No, we're not in a we're playing an American League stadium and an American League ball with American League teams. So therefore, it's going to be a walk for Roberto Alomar. Paul Molitor is going to be in there to hit off of the main chart with a 4.56. 4.56. Patient on Molitor. No. That's going to be a fly out to center. There's 2 outs in the inning now for Joe Carter as we go to the purple team chemistry chart with a 56. Pitching team to Sonnet? Unfortunately, no. Therefore, it's going to be a strikeout. We go to the baseball right now charts for the at bat of Chili Davis. We go to the bottom of the 10th with your score Blue Jays nothing, Angels nothing. Oh, baseball right now. Sorry about that. 2d6. 45. Gold batter? No. That's going to be a ground out to short. It's going to be ground out to first base. First out of the inning. And folks, who is going to break this scoreless tie? Someone really has to give here. 3-3-5. Wild on Timlin. He's not. Satsack on Easley. No. That's going to be a single to right active Steve. Oh, it's going to be plus a stolen base. Excuse me. Stoic holds. Easley does not have Stoic, so therefore, the winning runs on at second base is credit Easley with a single plus a stolen base. And that's going to bring up Eduardo Perez off the main chart. 2-4-6. Control. Timlin does not have control. Eager or Satsack on Perez? No, that is going to be a base on balls, active steals. Oh boy, folks. First and second now for Greg Myers. He will bat off the main chart with another 2-3-6. Double controller dynamic. Well, again, I think it has to be double. So with that being said, no. Pitcher batting, no. Oh my goodness, folks. Bases are loaded. 1 down in the inning. Harold Reynolds has a chance to walk things off here. Oh boy, with 1 down in the inning. 1-6-6. Workmen are gilded. Mike Timlin is a workman. Oh boy, that is going to be a walk-off single. Runners advance 1 bases on hits. So therefore, the Angels are going to walk things off in the 10th inning and win this wild pitching duel between win this wild pitching duel between the Jays and the Angels by the final score of 1-0. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of MLB Memorable Games as we featured the game from April 15th, 1994 between the Toronto Blue Jays and the California Angels. It seems we ran out of time for this episode, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And man, oh man, folks, we're right back at it as we have our second part of our unlikeliest of rivals series for our next rivalry night week of episodes for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, and we are going to be taking a look at one of a kind of historic rivalry from the 70s, but it was a rivalry then. Is it still today? I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out when the 2022 Kansas City Royals take on the 2022 New York Yankees as part of the latest edition of Rivalry Night. Who will come on top of this matchup? Find out next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, played with Full Play History Maker Baseball, a baseball league baseball simulation board game, your own baseball legacy on your game table. It is a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2013, all rights reserved.